What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com MLB DFS video for bringing home the bacon Saturday, July 8th. We are back, hopefully, bringing you in a very informative video. If you don't know what we do here, we go through every matchup that's on the slate. So I have to do this video a little bit early because I am super busy tonight, and I don't think I'll have time to do it early Saturday morning. So it is being done Friday afternoon. We have most of the pitchers on the slate. If there are any rainouts, if there are anything like that, we will cover that on the website. We will cover that with our cheat sheet, everything else on the website. So if you don't know what the website is, it's FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Hopefully, you've checked it out. If you have not, go check it out. We have a lot to offer there, and we appreciate all the feedback. I'm actually going to do something that we haven't done in a few years. If you go to FTA Plus, so we have all of this free information, then we have FTA Plus. We have All Access Pass, $25 per month. We're getting rid of this one after this month, so this one's going to be gone. So this is All Access. This is all MLB, NFL once NFL season comes, and sports betting on top of that. The NFL season is upon us almost. We are so close. We are getting done with a bunch of stuff. What I am doing right now for all of the loyal listeners and followers and subscribers here, if you've been thinking about getting on the bandwagon and you want to, we are going to give the season pass, NFL season pass, away. Usually $199. If you use the promo code NFL VIP, that's NFL VIP, all one word, NFL VIP, all caps, when signing up for the NFL season pass, you're going to get $100 off. And what we're going to do is we're going to give that to the first 10 people that sign up. So if you're watching this video, you've been thinking about it, jump on that bandwagon. You will get that for $199 minus $100. So interested in that, the first 10 people get it. NFL VIP is the pass for that. Use that discount code, and good luck to the first 10 people that sign up. That being said, we're going to go over a lot of things. Since the video is so early, we have not hit the 50 mark. If we hit 50 likes on this video, we will put in a separate video just who the winner is. So if you don't know what we do, we throw in, anytime a video gets 50 likes, we put, and you leave a positive comment and you're a subscriber, we throw your name into random.org, and we randomize it 3 times, and the winner will receive a free week of MLB DFS content. Same thing, if we get 100 likes, you'll do the same exact thing, but you get a month free. And if you do 125 likes on a video, you get the MLB season absolutely free. All you have to do is like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a positive comment. So be on the lookout for that. I would suggest hitting that bell notification. So when our content gets posted, you're part of this. So the discount code goes out there, and if you have the bell notification, you're going to know, and you're going to be a part of it quickly. So we're going to do contests like that. So I do encourage to subscribe and use the bell notification. So that being said, we've got a full day of slate here. We've got all these games we're going to look at. Let's dig into the games. So looking at the first game, we got Drew Smyly versus Garrett Cole. You've got the Cubs versus the Yankees. You got Drew Smyly, 38 plate appearances against the Yankees, 15.8 K percentage, so very low K percentage, 500 batting average against him. We're going to dig into the numbers a little bit and look at them. Flip side of that, Garrett Cole, 55 plate appearances, 245 batting average, 27.3 K percentage. I'm all in on Cole. It's the reason he's the video picture and the article picture. He's a Cy Young candidate. If you did it right now, he was leading Cy Young for the first couple of months of the season. He's dominating. Don't be surprised if Garrett Cole gets double-digit strikeouts here. It's at home. We know what we're looking for. Wouldn't take Drew Smyly at all. I know how bad the Yankees have been doing, but even against Drew Smyly, they need to have success. Not a lot of people have seen him. Josh Donaldson, 10 for 20 with 3 doubles and 3 home runs, only 3 strikeouts. The problem is Josh Donaldson's playing like absolute dog shit right now. I think anyone knows that. He's batting like 140 on the year. I will try my hand at him. I will look at the righties for the Yankees in this one against Drew Smyly. So, you've got Donaldson batting 500. Harrison Bader, 2 for 4 with a double. If he's in, I love him against a lefty, especially a soft throwing lefty. Rizzo against his old team, 2 for 3. Hopefully he shows out with a home run there. DJ, 1 for 3 with a double. You got Jake Bauers, who's probably, we've got to pay attention. He's probably out, but 2 for 2 with a home run. So the bats I'm looking at in this game are the Yankees bats and Garrett Cole. Which Yankees bats? Probably looking at Donaldson a little bit for tournaments especially. Harrison Bader, Gleyber Torres, DJ LeMahieu, IKF. I would be looking at Kiner Falefa here. You got to get a little creative. If Stanton is in the outfield, I'm all in on Stanton as well against this. Don't be surprised if Stanton hits a ball out of Yankee Stadium against Drew Smyly if he's playing the outfield. If Stanton is a DH in this game, I don't like him. We've gone over this a lot. Why don't I like him? Because he's batting like 140 when he's a DH, and he's batting like 280, or it's 180 when he's a DH and 240 when he's in the outfield. So that is definitely another thing I'm looking forward to. Again, we'll have a couple videos, and then we have the All-Star break. So it'll be this video and then Sunday's video, and then we'll have a break until, I believe, Friday. So it'll be a good break to reset and recharge. And in that absence, we will be starting our NFL content. We will also be starting to build out the Discord channel, which we'll have a couple of free channels for you. But if you are a subscriber to the website, there's a way to connect your Discord with your subscription, and you should hopefully we'll get that set up during the All-Star break as well. So not looking at Smyly, not looking at the Cubs bats, looking at Garrett Cole, looking at the Yankees as a stack. Next game, Blue Jays at the Tigers, Kevin Gossman versus Matt Manning. Gossman, 87 plate appearances, 226 batting average against him, 34.5 K percentage there. Versus Matt Manning, we've got 40 plate appearances, 324 batting average. I am stacking the Blue Jays. I am looking at Gossman, absolutely looking at Gossman here. He's one of the best pitchers on. He's ranked 14th overall in my season-long league. He's one of the best pitchers this season. He's taken over for Alek Manoah, who absolutely crapped the bed to start the season, got sent down. He was their ace. I now believe it's Gossman. Looking at Gossman, I'm trying to see if he's faced Detroit. Not really sure. Can't tell on this app right now. But I'm looking at Gossman. He's got strikeout potential against this Tigers team that ranks almost dead last in scoring on the year. If I am looking at the bats in this one, the Blue Jays bats are the one I'm looking at. So looking at these bats, Matt Chapman's 2 for 5 with a home run. Ernie Clement, 2 for 3. Don't know anything about him, to be completely honest. Brandon Belt's 2 for 3 with the double. Vlad is 2 for 6 with a double. Bo Bichette's 1 for 6 with a double. A lot of doubles. Springer and Kiermaier both have home runs. Yeah, I'm all for stacking against Matt Manning. 100%. Wouldn't even touch Manning at all here. Looking at him, he's made 2 starts this year. 5 innings at Colorado. Got the W, but 7.2 ERA and 7.2 K per 9. Not striking out a ton. So making his 3rd start, got called up. Kind of what we're looking for. Was on the 60-day IL, and then now he's here. So what I'm looking for here is complete domination out of Toronto bats against Matt Manning, and Gossman to carve up Detroit for hopefully 8+ strikeouts. Next game, Orioles at the Twins. You got Tyler Wells versus Sonny Gray. Wells, 44 plate appearances, .093 against the Twins, 29.5 K percentage. And then on the flip side of that, Sonny Gray, 82 plate appearances, 111 batting average. I kind of like both of these pitchers. I think Sonny Gray is more of your tournament option. I think Tyler Wells is more of your cash option. And I could see this being a very low-scoring game. I could see this being a game where at the moment, I don't want any of these bats. We can look. I mean, no one's really had success. We can look at them real quick and just kind of see if anyone's had success. No extra base hits, 4 hits in 43 at-bats out of him with 13 strikeouts. And on the flip side of that, the Orioles, I know the Orioles are really good, guys, but Sonny Gray, he's pitched different since leaving the Yankees. He's pitched well. The only one there's 2 people with extra base hits. Ramon Urias is 1 for 3 with a double, and then Anthony Santander 1 for 7 with a home run. I would like this game a little bit more for the bats if it were in Baltimore, but I'll take the pitching in this one at Target Field. Now, weather, it might be a concern. This is something to look at. We have a weather on our cheat sheet. We have a weather tab where we give different ratings for either a pitcher rating or a batter rating, then how the wind is blowing left to right or whatever it is. Let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. Now, this information is from Friday's slate. So this is not updated yet for Saturday's slate. This will be it's usually updated by about 9 a.m. Central, day of the slate. So, and this is also part of the premium content. So looking at this, we've got our Fanduel and DraftKings. So these are from the other day. We'll get rid of this and I'll have a different one. Then we have a weather tab. The weather tab, the games, the temperature. Obviously, the hotter the temperature, the more chance for either storms or humidity with the ball flying out of there. This is something to monitor. This is something some people don't even think about. So when you're building your lineups, think about that. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay. Then you've got our delayed risk, postponement risk, in-game risk, which this can affect your pitching if you're looking at that. Then the air density. Obviously, the denter, you can check it out. The ball is going to fly. Our hitter rating, which you can sort however you want to do that, and then pitcher rating. So obviously, pitchers in this fare a little bit better, depending on how long they go into it. So we do have a lot of weather stuff, and then you can see the wind in from center 10 miles an hour, out to right 18 miles an hour. So that would be, hey, let's target the batters specifically. If it's a right-handed pitcher, look at left-handed bats, stuff like that. So a lot of information on the website. Go check it out, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So that being said, again, at the moment, I don't want any bats in this one. I want the pitchers. Cardinals at the White Sox is next. Miles Mikolas versus to be announced. Mikolas actually, the other day, people were asking if I liked Mikolas, and then one of our longtime subscribers DM'd me on Twitter and showed me that they took Mikolas as a pitcher because he's a cheaper option, and they cashed I think they 20 times their money or something like that. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But he has a good matchup here against the White Sox. Only 7 plate appearances. They really haven't seen him much. He's got it going. He's a cheaper option than some of the other pitchers on the slate, and it allows you to pay up at other position. On the flip side of that, it will really depend on what pitcher is pitching against the Cardinals, because Cardinals are a bad offense, and we could take a pitcher against him. We just don't know who it is. At the moment, I believe this should be Michael Kopech's spot, but he just went on the IL. And so they have a vacant spot. Whether or not they do an opener, they call someone up, or whatever, it might be a bullpen game for them as well. So this is something to look at. If it is a starter with a good pedigree, I will look against St. Louis. But if this is an opener situation, you obviously aren't paying up for an opener situation. So depending on who it is, that'll help us look at some of the bats on the other side. Obviously, the bats that we would like on the St. Louis side, if it's a terrible pitcher, Tommy Edman, Arenado, Goldie, Newt Barr at the top if he's at the top there. Brendan Donovan seems to be dominating every time he plays for us. So we will be looking at this a little bit. Again, the slate's going to be split because you've got, it's Saturday. We've got early games, and then we've got main slate games at nighttime. So this is something to look at. I will have a little bit of Mikolas, and once Chicago shows us who their pitcher is, then we will be able to dig in. Kind of the same thing with here, Colorado Giants. If it's a decent Giants pitcher, and you're going to see this all the time. You're going to see this pretty much all season for the Giants. Most of their pitchers are hurt, so they're bringing up people from the minor leagues. They are, doing openers, and they usually don't have the pitcher ready to go until a couple of hours before the game time. So this is something to monitor. Probably wouldn't be looking at a Colorado pitcher anyway. Would look at San Francisco a little bit, but no bats really will jump out until we know who's pitching here. Rangers at the Nationals, you got Andrew Heaney versus Jake Irvin. Heaney's only faced 11 plate appearances, 300 batting average. I would still take him against this Washington team, and I would still take a stack of the Rangers. I think we have to stack the Rangers until they screw us over multiple times in a row. Who are we looking at here? We're looking at Corey Seager, obviously at the top. Simeon. We're looking at Jonah Heim, who I really like, a cheaper option. Adolis Garcia. Tavares is there as well. We could look at it. Just depends on who's going to be out there. Because when you build your lineups, yes, you're going to want to have some exposure to the big stacks, but then you also kind of have to figure out the lower owned batters who possibly have a good choice or a good chance to come out on top and be lower owned for you, which lower owned obviously means, you know what that means. If they do well and they're lower owned, we have a really good shot. So I would be targeting mostly lefties against Jake Irvin, with the exception of like Simeon. So we could be looking at Corey Seager, lefty. Nate Lowe is a lefty. Jonah Heim is a switch hitter. Jankowski is a cheaper option, lefty, and Tavares is a switch hitter as well. So won't have any Nationals bats. We'll have a little bit of exposure to Haney, probably more tournaments, but I will have exposure to him, and then the Texas bats. Royals at the Guardians is next. You got Brady Singer versus Gavin Williams. Singer, 111 plate appearances against the Guardians, a 323 batting average against him. They've seen him well. We will dig in and see if those are just a couple of bats, but I'm assuming it's probably the whole team because they're in the same division, and he's only struck out 13.5% of those batters. And then when we look at Gavin Williams, obviously we don't have much to go off of. Gavin Williams comes into this as a 0-1 record, 3.79 ERA, and only 12 strikeouts, so he's not striking out a ton. And his best start did come against Kansas City 2 starts ago. Went 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, only had 1 walk and 1 hit, and had 43 fantasy points over on Fanduel. So honestly, that was at Kansas City. That is a pitcher's park, but I will take a little bit of exposure to Gavin Williams here because he had 1 good start. This is his 1 start against them. 7 innings, 23 plate appearances, 26.1 K percentage. I will take Gavin Williams, and I kind of like Cleveland as a stack here. So again, we don't have any weather until basically the morning of just to feel good about it. So the weather could be a factor, but we're just basing this off games without weather. So the teams that have had, or the players that have had success, I mean, kind of figured it would be Jose Ramirez, 8 for 18 with a double and 2 home runs. Andres Jimenez, 5 for 16 with a double. Miles Straw, 6 for 15 with 2 doubles. Josh Naylor, 2 for 15 with a double and a home run. Stephen Kwan, 5 for 12 with a double. Will Brennan, 2 for 4. That's basically it. So if I'm stacking here, I'm looking at Jose Ramirez. I'm looking at Andre Jimenez. Josh Naylor probably. You could look at Bo Naylor as a cheaper option if he's playing. Stephen Kwan, I don't mind especially if he's leading off, and Ahmed Rosario as well. So I am all in on Gavin Williams, both cash or tournaments. I really don't care. And then stacking the Guardians against Brady Singer. Athletics at the Red Sox, you got Paul Blackburn versus James Paxton. I'm looking at James Paxton here. 17 plate appearances, 471. I don't care about those numbers. Somehow, some way, Paxton is, of course, pitching well. He was on the paternity, so if you look on like FanDuel right now, he probably still has the IL status, but he went on the paternity list. Coming in, he's coming off, I think, his best start of the year. Yeah, he's coming off his best start of the year against Toronto, at Toronto. 7.2 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hits, no earned runs, got the W, 54 fantasy points over there on FanDuel. James Paxton, as long as he's healthy, he is an ace. We know this. The fact is, at some point this year, there is no way he doesn't get hurt. Hopefully it's not when we play him. Hopefully it's after, maybe in a training something. I don't know. I don't want him to get hurt, but we know it's probably coming. But I am taking James Paxton against this team, even in Boston. Would obviously probably would put James Paxton as the picture of this video and the article if this were in Oakland. But we're not. We are in Boston. So I'm looking at James Paxton. He's probably my second favorite pitcher on the slate, maybe my third. I think it probably goes Garrett Cole, and then it's really close between James Paxton and Gavin Williams. So love me some James Paxton against Oakland. I will not be looking at Paul Blackburn. Maybe looking at the Red Sox bats a little bit, possibly a Verdugo, Justin Turner. Let's see if anyone's had meager success against him. Yeah. Verdugo's 2 for 5 with a double. Jaron Duran 3 for 6 with a double. Devers is 1 for 3. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm stacking like a Verdugo, Duran, Devers. Just depends. Kike Hernandez is possibly in there. It'll depend on the lineup that comes up. But at least these three for sure. Maybe Justin Turner on top of that. Next game, Pirates at the Diamondbacks. You got Mitch Keller versus to be announced. We don't know who's pitching. Same thing. There's an injury now, and kind of let the sails out a little bit on who the. I believe this is probably Merrill Kelly's start. Well, he's been out a couple of weeks. It just depends on whose start this would have been. But looking at Mitch Keller, comes in with a 9-4 record, 3.52 ERA, 125 strikeouts in 110 innings. So he's doing pretty good. Going up against to be announced right now. Trying to see if he's faced Arizona this year. He did back on May 20th, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 40 fantasy points there. I kind of like Mitch Keller here, especially if Corbin Carroll is still out. That's a very potent bat out of there. And 44 plate appearance, 244 batting average. I would like to take Mitch Keller, but I just don't know if he's going to get enough run support. It will really depend on the Arizona bats. So I am for Mitch Keller against Arizona. Phillies at the Marlins is next. You got Ranger Suarez versus Braxton Garrett. Suarez, 46 plate appearances, 222 batting average, 21.7 K percentage. Comes in with a 2-3 record, 3.67 ERA. We did use Ranger Suarez against Washington. This is the difference. So listen to me if you want to. There are lineup sellers here on YouTube and Twitter who only want you to give them their money. They give you lineups. That's it. They won't say when they're wrong. Sometimes I've even seen them, they were completely wrong. They delete the video or the Facebook or the YouTube or the Twitter post where they've said go with this and then it didn't work out. This is what I'm going to tell you. We took Ranger Suarez against Washington because it was a good matchup for him last week. Didn't do anything for us. 5.1 innings, 5 strikeouts, but he had 5 earned runs, 16 fantasy points. We got screwed there. I will admit we were wrong on that one. We're not going to hit 100%. I've seen some comments here where like, follow this guy, he knows what he's doing, or LOL, you told us to take, I don't know, let's just say Ranger Suarez and he shit the bed or something. That happens. I'm human. If I was right 100% of the time, I wouldn't be making these videos because I'd be a millionaire from my sports betting. I'm not. I'm here. I'm helping you. These are crutches to help you. If you need a little bit more help, we do. Over the long run, we've been doing this since 2014. We've had a lot of success. We've had multi 50,000 plus winners. We had 18,000, 20,000, 500, 5,000. They've been there. That's why I'm trying. If you guys use our advice and you win a lot of money, if you would let us, we're going to make a winner's circle on our Discord, and we're going to make a winner's circle on the website. I want to help you guys out. So let me know. And then Braxton Garrett, 32 plate appearances against the Phillies, 414 batting average, 15.6 K percentage. He just faced Philly. I want to see when it was. Maybe I'm thinking of other person. We did take him against St. Louis, and he did give up 3 earned runs and 26 fantasy points. So he's had a couple of 2 stinker games against St. Louis and Boston. Had a really good game against Pittsburgh. Against Philly, it's really hard to want to take a person. I think I'd rather stack Philly here. I think I wouldn't take Ranger Suarez, but I would stack Philly here. This could have a lot of runs in this game. We could be looking at Bryson Stott. We could be looking at Alec Boehm, Kyle Schwarber, even against the lefty. We could be looking at Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos. I kind of like that. On the flip side of that, Luis Ariz for the Marlins, Brian De La Cruz, Jesus Sanchez, Garrett Cooper against the lefty. Wouldn't be surprised if he homers either. So I'm probably avoiding these pitchers, and I'm taking bats on both sides. A little bit heavier on Philly, but I will have exposure to Marlins. Reds at the Brewers, Luke Weaver versus Colin Ray. Weaver, 40 plate appearances, 289 batting average, 15 K percentage. Colin Ray over here, 30 plate appearances, 280. We've stacked against Weaver the past few times. His last start against Washington, I do believe we stacked. They didn't do much, but he also didn't do much. Went 5 innings, 2 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 21 fantasy points. Against Baltimore, we stacked against him, 4.1 innings, 4 earned runs. We definitely stacked Atlanta against him, 5 earned runs there. Houston, 5 earned runs. So I kind of like a sneakier Milwaukee stack here. Christian Yelich he's looking amazing this year. Might even get traded if anyone would take on that contract. Probably not. Tappy is 5 for 13. Brian Anderson's 2 for 7. Yelich is 2 for 6, but both of those hits are home runs, and they're playing at home, so I like that. Jesse Winker, 2 for 5. I'll have a little bit of exposure. I don't know if I'll stack Milwaukee, but I'll at least have Christian Yelich as one of my top plays or favorite plays here. And then on the flip side of that, Cincinnati, you know them. They've been super hot this year. We know that. Colin Ray, 30 plate appearances against him, 280 batting average. Joey Votto's 1 for 5 with a double. Very cheap option for you. Matt McClain, 1 for 2 with a triple. I would love this game, obviously, for the bats if this were in Cincinnati, but we're in a dome, so weather won't be a concern. Kevin Newman's 0 for 4. Spencer Steer's 1 for 2. Jake Fraley's 3 for 3 with a home run. Fraley's one of my favorite prop picks almost every given day for Cincinnati. So I will look at a Cincinnati stack. Just depends. Ellie De La Cruz in there, Joey Votto, Matt McClain, Jake Fraley for sure, TJ Friedl. I don't mind either. And then on the flip side, probably Christian Yelich. I don't know. Maybe Tapia if he's in there. But I would rather have a stack of Cincinnati. Then you got the Mariners at the Astros. You got Brian Wu versus Framber Valdez. Wu's never faced this team before. He started off his career really bad against Texas, 2 innings, 6 earned runs. And he's kind of slowly been creeping up on 30 plus, 35 plus fantasy points here. A little bit higher price-wise, but it will really just depend on which Brian Wu shows up. I will have exposure to Brian Wu in tournaments. I will not have exposure to him in cash, especially against the Astros. And then Framber Valdez, in his career against Mariners, 91 plate appearances, 23.1 K percentage, a 222 batting average here. Looking at Valdez, not the best. Comes in 7.6 record, 2.49 ERA. Not a good start against St. Louis. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 24 fantasy points there. Especially at his 10,000 plus salary, that's not enough. He had a really good game against the Mets. 8 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, 55 fantasy points. Trying to see if he's faced Seattle this year. He has not faced them this year. Has had success in the past. I think I'm going to be making multiple lineups on this day. I will have exposure to both Brian Wu and Valdez, but I'll have exposure to both of these teams as well for stacks. So just depending on the lineup that the Mariners throw out there, Eugenio Suarez will be one of them. Teoscar Hernandez will be one of them. Julio Franco will be one of them, especially with that short porch. J.P. Crawford, 5 for 18 with 2 doubles. Dylan Moore, 4 for 14, probably not Dylan Moore. Maybe a little bit of Ty France if he's in there. Let's see. Wasn't he hurt, though? Maybe not. No, Ty France is in there. And he's been batting. So, yeah, I'll have a little bit of exposure to the righties in this lineup against them, but I will have exposure to both pitchers. Then the Braves at the Rays. You got Spencer Strider versus Taj Bradley. Neither team has faced each other before. I will throw them in tournaments. I think Strider I like a little bit more. He's still getting a ton of strikeouts. His ERA is not what we're used to. He's been hit hard a couple of starts this year, but he's super expensive. That's the thing. Coming off 3 straight games of 50-plus fantasy points against Miami, Minnesota, and Philly. But he, against the Mets, gave up 8 earned runs with 8 strikeouts. So he had the strikeouts going, but he gave up too many earned runs. And that was in 4 innings. So he was striking out, but then he got lit up there. Never faced Tampa Bay. Again, Tampa Bay at home. It's really hard to want to take them, but I will have exposure to Strider and Bradley. A little bit of Bradley, but more of Strider. And then it will just depend on the bat. So if I'm taking any of them, I'm probably taking the Braves bats, like an Albies, a Matt Olson, Acuna, Riley. It will really just depend on the lineup. Sean Murphy, Darno, depend on who the Braves have out there. But I love me some Spencer Strider against Tampa Bay. Then we got the Angels at the Dodgers. You got Reed Detmers versus to be announced. Detmers has kind of had success against him. 39 plate appearances, 171 batting average. Not a ton. JD Martinez, 2 for 6. Will Smith, 2 for 7. Muncy, 2 for 4. Will Smith does have a home run. That's basically it. But it's still really hard to take a pitcher against the Dodgers at home. Maybe Detmers for tournaments just in case he goes off, but I'd probably rather be stacking like a Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman against Detmers. Then the final game on the slate, we have the Mets at the Padres. You got David Peterson versus Blake Snell. Love me some Snellzilla here. Looking at this, he might be I might have to put him as like my second favorite pitcher. We've used him multiple times, and he's worked out. So I will take Blake Snell against the Mets. 127 plate appearances, 280 batting average. Give me all the Snellzilla against the Mets. No Mets bats. And then I would stack against David Peterson. I would look at Machado, Bogarts, Tatis, and Gary Sanchez. And that's all we've got for you guys. Good luck on this slate. If you have any questions, put them down below. Let's bring home some bacon. Peace!